Hello, this is Bilal Siddiqui and you're watching Khuaabgaah Library Project. So I was covering the Quran's introduction in this book by M.A.S. Abdel Haleem. So we are on this point where this is like the third video of the introduction. This is the life of Muhammad and the historical background. So this needs to be understood a lot, that when the time and the place and all the situation where the Quran was revealed is very imperative to understand that before understanding what the Quran actually says, because there are a lot of many things which are revealed in the context of that Arabian Peninsula at that point of time. So there are going to be examples, there are going to be things and customs defined which are more easily understood by someone living in that era. So that must be taken in mind whenever we are doing a study of the Quran. So the life of Muhammad and historical background. Muhammad was born in Mecca in about the year 570 CE, so this is around 1440 years from now. The religion of most people in Mecca and Arabia at the beginning of Muhammad's lifetime was polytheism, so this must be understood that where he was living there were people who were polytheists. They were not monotheistic people, so these were not the people of the book, but rather the people who believed in different gods, you can say. Christianity was found in places notably in Yemen and among the Arab tribes in northern under Byzantine rule. Judaism too was practiced in Yemen and in around Yathrib, later renamed Medina because half of the Quran is revealed in Mecca and the other half is revealed in Medina. So, and this is a place where Jews and Christians used to live. So the half of the Quran was revealed in a place where the Prophet is talking to people of the book. So this is a good knowledge about the book. But the vast majority of the population of Arabia were polytheists. They believed in the chief God, Allah. So Allah is like the chief God. So whenever Allah is mentioned, this is referring to the one and only God. But so other deities and mediators between them and him. The Quran mentions particularly the worship of idols, angels, the sun, the moon as lesser gods. The Hajj pilgrimage to the Kaaba in Mecca built, and the Quran tells us by Abraham. Abraham is another prophet which is mentioned in the Bible even. So in Islam or in Quran it is mentioned that Abraham built Kaaba in Mecca, which is the house of Allah in the earth, and for the worship of a god was practiced, but that too became corrupted with polytheism. Mecca was thus an important central religion, and for trade in the caravans that traveled by Mecca between Yemen in the south and Syria in the north, providing an important source of income, there was no central government. So this must also be understood that there were only tribal system and no central government actually existed at that time. Other than that, this was also very important to understand that the pilgrimage to the Kaaba in Mecca was a very important thing which happened at that time and was the prime source of income. So even though it was built by Abraham, it was still corrupted by polytheists because there were many different types of deities worshipped there alongside Allah. The harsh conditions brought competition for scarce resources and enforced solidarity between each tribe, but there was frequent fighting between tribes. Injustices were practiced against the weaker classes, particularly women, children, slaves. So there was slavery there, and the poor. So because there was no central government, so the lack of justice system made sure that the people who were of a weaker position were exposed and were exploited. Few facts are known about Muhammad's childhood. It is known that his father Abdullah died before he was born. So this is not talking about Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him. Before he was born, his mother Amina, where he was 6 years old, and that his grandfather Abdul Muttalib then looked after him until 2 years later he too died. Okay, so you can imagine the type of childhood the Prophet of Islam or the Prophet of Muslims or the last prophet had to bear, because his father had not been there when he was born, and his mother Amina also died when he was only 6 years old, and his grandfather Abdul Muttalib, who then looked after him after his mother, 2 years later he also died, and at the age of 8 Muhammad entered the guardianship of his uncle Abu Talib. So Abu Talib is the person who actually took care of him Muhammad was employed as a trader by a wealthy and well-respected widow, 15 years senior, named Khadija. Impressed by his honesty and good character, she proposed marriage to him. They were married for over 25 years until Khadija's death. Then Muhammad was 49 years old, so he gets married to another woman by the name of Khadija. With great support to her husband after his marriage, Muhammad lived in Makkah, where he was a respected businessman and peacemaker. Muhammad was in the habit of taking regular periods of retreat and reflection in the cave of Hira outside Mecca. This is where the first revelation of the Quran came to him in 670 CE when he was 40 years old. So, even though this is not mentioned in the chronological order, because when he was 40 years old, the first revelation came to him and he was met by the angel Gabriel. So, this happened, this actually, marrying Khadija, this happened afterwards, or he was married to her when he got the revelation. So that's clearing that point out. This initiative is profited. The Prophet was instructed to spread the teachings of the revelation received to his larger family and beyond. However, although a few believed in him, majority, especially the powerful, resented his calling then to abandon their cause. After all, many polytheist tribes came to Mecca and the pilgrim and leaders feared that the new religion would threaten their own prestige and economic prosperity. They also felt it would disturb the social order, as it was quite outspoken in its preaching of equality between people and its condemnation of the injustice done to the weaker members of society. So I think we will wrap this video here, and we'll continue with the introduction of Muhammad and his life, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, after in the next video. Thank you for watching.